Welcome back to the Elanix AI YouTube channel. We help you save time, save money, and avoid the headache with our AI systems. In today's video, I'll be taking you through part 1 of our Airtable and Make tutorial, how to connect them, how to build scenarios, applications with them. And the reason why this is so important, why I want to stick to the end of this video, is essentially you'll be able to build AI-powered applications using Airtable as a front end and Make.com as a back end. I'm going to show you exactly how to connect the two, how to work with your data. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing I did is I went over to Airtable and created a new base, which is essentially a project, and I'll put the link in the description. Click on that link, sign up for Airtable, and work along in this tutorial with me. So once you open Airtable, you have this little bar on the side here that's almost like a quick start guide, and it shows you that you can import existing work. So if you're working with spreadsheets, Google Sheets, Excel, even a CSV, you can import those easily. They also offer some templates over here for business roadmaps and contracts and things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and close that. So in this table over here, this is going to be the dashboard for your application. And the first thing I want to start off with is you'll have your general columns here, just like Google Sheets or Excel. All your different buttons that I'll go through. But the first thing to focus on is your views over here in this bottom corner. And this is so important because if I open another view like gallery, it's going to display that data that's in grid view in an easier way, easier to understand, to see what's going on. And this has become a huge help for us here at Elanix AI. Whenever we build a system for a client, we create these different views for them, these dashboards that make our sometimes very complicated AI system palatable, easy to understand, and easy to navigate. So here we go. For example, this Kanban. If you are building something like a CRM, a customer relationship management app, then you could add a record right here, and you could type in the name of your customer. Okay. And let's close that. And from here, you could just drag them to done. And the second you would do that, we would trigger something in our Make.com scenario. So I hope you're seeing why this is so valuable, because it's becoming an interface for our Make.com automation. So let's get started. Create a new scenario in Make.com. And then for the trigger, we go to Airtable and we can select watch records. Now the watch records action works like this. If I change a record on this dashboard from any of these views, right? If I change the name over here, the description, if I alter anything, it's going to pick that up on Make.com and trigger a scenario and run through. I'll give you another example. If you're using this in recruitment, HR, if these are all your candidates, okay, and you want to automate outreach to them via an email, then you drag them. Let's say he just applied, drag it to done, and as soon as that change happens, Make.com picks that up and sends them an email through the scenario that we'll build out. So here we are. You're going to select the base. Over here it's called untitled, which is fine. Select the table, it's table 1. Okay, and then when you're connecting any type of table, Airtable to Make.com, in your grid view, which I call the data view because that's really where all your data is going to be, you're always going to need a created time or a last modified time. Now depending on the use case, most of the time last modified is actually better because it will help you quickly see when a record was edited, not when it was created. So now that we have that modified cell, we can now add that as our trigger field. Refresh this. There we go. And then limit, let's use this to 1. If your limit is higher than 1, it means if the scenario runs, it can process more than 1 record. And that's good for something like a CRM. If you've made multiple changes, when the scenario runs, it's going to do all of them at the same time. But in certain cases, you definitely want to just stick to 1 so there's no errors or mistakes that get made. Save that label field, let's call that name. That's just how the system is going to recognize the column from now on. Cool. So now what that module means is our Airtable is now being monitored by make.com to see whether we create a new record, right? So if we add Sarah in there, it would have picked that up and it would have triggered a scenario. So let's build some functionality into this. Let's make this into an email generator, all right, for a company that wants to have a specific email tone. So let's say you're a sales representative for a business. You don't want to keep typing emails yourself. You want this thing to generate emails for you. So I'm going to build this for myself actually and just guide you through how I do it for myself. So after we watch records, any changes made, meaning in this app in particular, if I type in a new email idea, it's going to generate that email for me. So it's going to watch the records, then it's going to go to ChatGPT, create a completion, model 4.5, even 4.0 latest, it's good. Completion tokens, I always say be wary of this. I don't know why, but they start out at 2048. That's way too much for this process. You don't need that much. So I would just put in around 230. When it works, when it comes to tokens, how I measure it is the complexity of the job and the output. How long does the output need to be? That will determine how many tokens you might need. But for most of the times, you're not going to even need more than 1,000 tokens. And how you get the exact numbers for yourself is you run this automation once and it will show you how many tokens it used to complete that job. If you're happy with the output, you can even look at reducing that until you find a good space where your tokens and your output are in sync. So there we go, we save that, and now we're going to add a message. This is going to be a system, so that's telling the GPT the context of what it is. You're a professional email writer. Okay, and let's just save that. So what does this mean? It means if I create the Sarah record, right, and I type in some sort of note of what I want my email to be like, this scenario will be triggered. It will go to ChatGPT and draft an email based on this small little section that I wrote over here. Now this will be part 1 of the tutorial because I can see it's already at 8 minutes, but this is the foundation and the building block of building very powerful applications through make.com and Airtable, ones that we are building for clients right now. I actually have a meeting pretty soon, so let's finish up. So what we covered today was how to create a new Airtable base and to connect that with make.com using the watch records module as a trigger, and then connect that to ChatGPT. And this is extremely valuable to connect something else like Claude, a different engine, DeepSeek, Anthropic. It will be the same process. So that's why I wanted to do this video, to give you an introduction on how to build an AI application. So in theory, all you have to do with this app, which is now an email generator, is create a new record with a name and a general note for the email, what you want it to be about. Okay. And I'll tell you why the notes are able to be so general, right, and so concise, is because what we'll do in the next video is show you how to completely set up these ChatGPT modules, these GPT modules, to already have all the context they need within them, so that all you have to feed it is some loose general low effort notes, and it will generate an email for you that is in your brand voice. It has the context, the memory of everything that you want it to have. So that is the power of all of this. And once again, coming back to the views, now you have an application that generates emails with a user-friendly display. and you can, from this view for example, decide which emails you want to send, what you want to still review. Maybe you wanted the AI to regenerate them, or you want to discard of it. Whatever the case is, this is really just the beginning. So if you found this video helpful, I recommend you subscribe, like the video, and definitely sign up for these platforms with the link in the description. These tools are going to start taking over and really replacing the way we do a lot of things, and this is once again just the beginning. So if you enjoyed this video, I'll make a part 2. We'll expand on this. We'll add another GPT module. We'll add functions into the application, so things like a status button where you just have to say done and then it will send automatically. We'll have attachments and all those good stuff. So have a good rest of your day, and yeah, I hope this helped.